We're live.
Yay.
Welcome back,
dead.
John.
I'm dead.
Got that.
I got that Irish, that con crud from being at that Ireland convention. I was clearly
that
at.
intercontinental crud.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
You found it.
I'm angry that he actually tied it together.
Yeah.
I'm actually angry about that.
Yeah, you've been gone for a few weeks. Tell us how the trip go. How'd the wedding go?
First off, I'm married now, so now I have this ring on my left hand.
Nice.
That I keep losing. So.
Yep. Sounds
Does it
about
slide
right.
off easily? Isn't it supposed to just be a
No,
part of your finger from now on?
It takes a bit to remove. It's just like I'll remove it to like wash my hands, and then since I'm not used to wearing a ring, I won't notice it's missing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I thought you were supposed to like not take it off for like washing or anything like that.
I mean, if you keep washing it like that, eventually it'll like wear off the finish. So.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
But yeah, no. I'm married now, and as you can see, it's gone great because I'm sick.
Yeah.
I
feel different. Is there? Did you level up?
So here's the thing: everyone makes the joke. Everyone makes the joke like it's a big deal. Like it's really not. It's really like it just. You realize it's just now. It's just a title.
Sure.
For like legal tax purposes, it is kind of a big deal, but like that's
for that it is.
That's the only thing that changes. Yeah.
Like the only big thing we have to worry about is we have to get Reese's name legally changed. That's about it.
Right. Oh, so she's taking your name?
Yep.
Cool.
Otherwise, everything's just the same, really.
Cool.
But what wasn't the same was the honeymoon because that was cool and had some downers at the same time.
Let's hear it. You went to Ireland.
Yeah, our honeymoon was
first class. How was that?
That was amazing. We had like crazy ass pod beds that could like recline all the way down to the floor.
Nice.
And stretch out fully. Like there was so much leg room. They gave us like proper like 3-course meals and constant drinks, free Wi-Fi. It was great. It was awesome. I think it ruined the flying experience for me forever.
Totally. I could see that. Yeah.
I can't do that again, man. No.
You can't go back.
It's got to be that. Well, here's the thing. On the way back, we just did standard economy, and man, that sucked so much.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I've never done first class anywhere, and I guess maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, it probably makes more of a difference for those long flights, though. Like in an hour to 3 hours, whatever. But like for something like that, I'm sure you felt it on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem was originally we bought it so we would sleep on the flight, and I could not sleep.
Yeah.
So I just spent like the whole time on the internet, just like asking Twitter for questions, basically.
Yeah, I saw that. I asked you sup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, getting there was interesting. So we lost a day off the honeymoon.
Oh, that's right. Because it's snow?
Yeah, so a snowstorm hit the day we were leaving. And as a result,
my dad sent me photos of his yard. You guys got like 18 inches in like one night or something like that.
Something crazy.
In a few hours, yeah.
Disaster, yeah. So we just call for a taxi, and it picks us up in like 20 minutes, and then we're at the airport in another 30. But no taxis were responding. I called one place, and they said the wait time was 80 minutes.
Doesn't Calgary have Uber?
Yes.
Yeah. So I tried calling an Uber as well, and it said it was 12 minutes away. Okay. And then the Uber never showed up.
Oh.
Weird.
So we had no choice but to drive, and man, that was a disaster. So we left our house with maybe 2 hours to spare, and we got there too late. It took us, I think, an hour to an hour and a half to get to the airport. Yeah. So double to triple the length of the drive.
Yep.
Deerfoot was going at basically like 20 kilometers. And then when it started actually moving, we got up to like 60. And for reference sake, that road is 100 to 110 normally.
Yeah, that's our version of the freeway for anybody who is wondering what that road is.
Yeah. So we got there and we parked and we ran into the gate, and they said, "Yeah, it's too late to use the machines to check in your flight. here, get in the queue line, and then we can see what we can do. And the queue line was full of people that from our flight that also missed the flight, and another flight leaving at the same time that also missed their flight.
Yeah.
So we were not gonna be able to do anything. We were on hold with WestJet, who we were flying with, for like 50 minutes, the entire drive to the airport, and they're like, "Yeah, you're not getting on that flight.
Yeah.
It's impossible." So
Man, it sucks.
Originally, we were supposed to fly to New York, wait in New York for 4 hours, and then take a red eye from New York straight to Dublin. Instead, we just went back home, and we're told to come back the next day, fly to Toronto, and then take a red eye from Toronto to Dublin a bit earlier. So we were supposed to land in Dublin at 9:30 a.m., and instead the next day we landed at 5:30.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So basically, like at 6 a.m. a day later, we got into our hotel in Dublin and then just like passed out.
Yeah.
Sure.
We lost a day, but thankfully it was a day we were just going to recoup anyway. So we hopped on one of those, like they had a tour bus where you could just hop on and hop off whenever you see one.
Sure.
Okay.
We went around the town, checked out a couple sites. One of the sites Reese was the most excited to go to was closed the day we got there.
That's too
What was
bad.
So that was good.
What was
Thankfully,
the site?
the Book of Kells. It's
I have
like
no
one of
idea
the
what that is.
it's one of the like ancient scripture books that they had in Ireland, and also they have like this giant like floor to ceiling library there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We were lucky that we got in the next day. It happened that they were actually taking the day off to turn the pages of the books so they could actually be displayed. Yeah, no, you laugh, but that's actually what they
No,
did.
I can see that. That's just what a funny concept.
That's so good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Wing Wolf brings up a good point. Apparently, had we flown into New York that day, there was a tornado watch, so our flight might have been delayed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you missed some weird weather even on the way back, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we spent the 2 days in Dublin just wandering around and just checking out things. It was really fun. We actually, a bunch of fans recognized us on the street.
I saw that. That's pretty great. Yeah.
Were they all from Dublin, or was it a bunch of UK fans that knew you were going to be in Dublin, so they decided to take a weekend trip and try and find you Pokemon Go style?
They were both from Dublin. One of them was like, "I'm gonna head downtown and see if I can catch you," and then accidentally bumped into us. And the other was, I think, going to work or something like that, and happened to be where we were just walking by. The funny thing was,
the first one was trying to find you?
one was trying to find us, the other one bumped into us accidentally.
Oh man, that's kind of weird, no?
I mean, yeah, but I've seen weirder things, I guess. I'm
He
numb
put it
to it at
out
this
there
point.
that he was going to be there, though. So
Yeah.
True.
It just was funny. The first person found us less than 2 minutes after we left our hotel.
That's weird.
Very weird.
That part's
very
weird.
weird.
We started walking down the street, and then this guy walks up, and he's like, "Excuse me, is your name John?" I'm like, "Oh my god, no way!" And he was super nice. He's like, "Yeah, here's some things you should check out. Here's some stores I think you might like."
Yeah, that's cool. But
Yeah.
like, it's cool that he wasn't like, "Oh, I'm going to murder you now." But like, that's weird.
Yeah,
I mean, there's at least like a 60% chance he had been waiting outside that hotel for an hour.
no, we watched him get off a bus. So
That he was driving.
I missed this.
Yeah. He's driving. Yeah.
So yeah, Dublin was cool, and then we did the scary thing. We rented a car.
Right.
Wow.
Before you get
Yeah.
into like the more bad stuff that happened, what made you pick Dublin and Ireland and stuff?
We were trying to figure out things that we wanted to do. Reese was like, "All right, here's our options. I see that would be the most interesting. We could go to Florida to go to Walt Disney World and have like a big, like, exciting vacation, or we could go on an adventure and go to Ireland and just kind of see the sights."
Totally.
So we ended up just going to see the sights.
That's way cooler than like Disney World.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we rented a car. And for those who don't know, the steering wheel is on the opposite side of the car
Mhm.
if you're from North America. And also you drive on the left side of the road instead of the right.
Yep.
So Wolf says we also missed a hurricane by not going to Florida. So, all right, batting 1,000 here so far, apparently.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's pretty common just for like Florida, though.
For Florida.
Like,
Yeah.
there's usually something weird going on
That's true.
in Florida.
Yeah.
So I had to drive, and I
Okay.
learned how to drive on the other side of the road, which was very frightening.
How long did that take before you were like, okay, I can do this? I'm
Probably
ready
a
to
couple
leave the parking lot.
days. When we got on
Oh,
the
okay.
highway, it was fine.
Sure.
But like getting through the cities was real rough.
Oh,
And
yeah.
holy shit, their drivers are fucking crazy there. So imagine you've got a single lane road, like just a
Yep.
road that kind of like
Okay.
it's super close. There's no shoulder. You're closing your eyes, Sean. Thank you for
Yep.
the imagination effect there.
Yeah.
A single lane road, no line in the middle to signify like anything like that.
Yeah.
You have to drive down it, and if someone comes the opposite way, you have to like pull off to the side of the road and let them through. You have just enough room to do this.
Right.
What
Yeah.
What do you think the speed limit is on that road?
Too much.
Yes,
Yeah.
80 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
We
Wow.
had so many people just pass us and zip past us. I am so shocked we never crashed.
Right. How many times did you drive incorrectly? Like your muscle memory made you go like to the right, or you took a turn and then you ended up on the wrong side for a split second. You're like, oh crap, I have to go further.
Thankfully, anytime that happened, it was only in a parking lot, so it wasn't that big a deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Hi.
Strawberry vanilla smoothie.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Reese
Oh.
just gave me a smoothie. My wife just gave me a smoothie.
There you go.
Thank you,
Whoa,
dear.
perks of being married. Whoa. Humble brag.
Yeah,
hell
no kidding.
I'm bragging the hell out of it right now.
I had to get my own drink before we started. Damn.
That's true, yeah. My girlfriend's not
Yeah,
even in this
That's what the
state.
ring means now. The ring means delivery.
Free smoothies.
It means delivery.
Damn.
Love
It
you.
It means service. It means quality.
Service with a smile.
Indeed.
So we drove to Belfast, which was Northern Ireland. So Northern Ireland is technically a different country.
Yeah.
So instead of using euros like they do in the rest of Ireland, I had to use pounds. So we had to carry two separate currencies when we went to Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Belfast, and our hotel was very interesting. We were told it was a 4-star hotel, and we get into the room, and it's covered in dirt. It's all scuffed up. The pillows are ripped up.
Okay, so it was 4 stars, but it was just out of 10 stars.
No,
Right.
it wasn't even 4 stars, actually. Apparently, it was a mismark. It was actually just 3 stars.
Mm.
But yeah, like
Okay.
it was in awful shape. So we like asked people like, "Hey, can we get what's up with our room? Can we get a better room? Because this is our honeymoon." So
Yeah.
they got us like a
'Cause I'm
nicer.
Proton John.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. So they gave us a better room. So another weird thing about the rooms were like they had a double-sized bed and then a single bed in the same room.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess it was for families, but it just felt
Yeah.
really weird. So they were like, "All right, hang on, here, we'll set you up with another room after the second one." They gave us the actual honeymoon suite that was there for no charge, and it was like this nice little like you walk in, there's a living room, there's like a couple couches and chairs, and then you go up this set of stairs, and then like your
Whoa.
bed is on like an awning.
I don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel where my room had stairs.
Neither have
agreed.
I, so it was really weird. But like it was really strange because like you couldn't watch the TV from bed because it was blocked by the awning, and obviously we had the other problem of the plugs they use over there are very different than what we use over here. They have more voltage, so we had to bring a power converter.
Sure.
Yep.
But the power converter didn't work with the switch. So
Was it like not giving enough power?
it was taking too much, if that makes sense. So like
Yeah.
the brick was overheating. So we would just hear like this
Okay.
fan kick in. So I could charge it like 10% at a time. So I didn't actually get to play much of the Switch while I was there. I got to play some Picross, and that was about it.
Yeah, because I've had the problem with the Switch. It seems like a lot of little like USB to wall adapters that I have don't like give enough power to make it worth using. And then even if I like, okay, well, I'm just going to plug it in all night. Usually I'm using like an iPhone little brick thingy. That thing will be like very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually we figured out a way we could just like we could remove the plug to the power converter and attach that to the Switch's power supply, and I could charge the Switch. But by doing that, we couldn't charge our phones or anything else.
Oh, yeah.
So it got to a point by the end where it was like, all right, what am I charging? My Switch or everything else?
Right.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked.
I'm sorry you didn't have like an external battery.
We did.
Oh, okay. Because
We had external batteries.
What I end up usually doing is charge my external battery and then the Switch charges off that while everything else charges.
I've been paranoid about that because some people told me like they brick their Switches using those. But I also don't have a USB-C cord that I could have plugged in there.
Oh, yeah.
The Pro controller came with a
yeah,
USB-C
but I didn't
cord.
bring them because I didn't think about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's just the one I use.
That's actually smart. Maybe I should actually look into doing that.
Yeah, I had my own like USB-C to USB regular.
Yeah.
But then the one came with the Pro controller, and I'm like, oh, I bet this is going to work for sure because it's like Nintendo certified or whatever.
Yeah.
Makes sense, yeah. So we got to Belfast, and the reason we went to Belfast was because we were going to do the Game of Thrones tour.
Uh-huh.
Right.
There's a bunch of filming locations there, like Winterfell, King's Landing, or King's Road, I believe is what it's called, and just a bunch of other stuff we were going to do. We go to sleep, wake up the next day. Oh, I should point out, out of the 4 hotels we stayed in Ireland, only one had air conditioning, because apparently that's just not a common thing there at all.
I'm assuming because it's usually like rainy over there, so it doesn't get too hot.
Yeah, but like also the beds only came with like one giant comforter, so you either like slept with it and melted or slept without it and were freezing.
Huh.
So we wake up the next day and we're like, okay, we got to go to this hotel and hop on a bus and then we'll do the Game of Thrones tour. We get to the bus and they're like, yeah, your name's not on the list. Like, what the hell? Yeah, so we were like, we have confirmation numbers here. Check them. Like, well, these look sort of right, but not fully. So let me call my office and check. They couldn't find any record of us at all.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, wait a minute, I've got an idea. Can you check? You said there's a Dublin tour as well. Can you check that they didn't accidentally book us on the Dublin trip while also booking us to stay in Belfast?
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. For reference's sake, Belfast and Dublin are 3 hours apart.
Mm-hmm. Great.
So it's not a quick case of hop in car and drive back and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The Dublin bus left earlier and we totally missed it.
Right.
So what happened was the guy was like, well, I can't put you on this bus because it's full up. I have no room. But what I can do instead is I can give you directions to where the bus you're supposed to be on is. You can take that bus or you can drive down there, try to beat the bus there, and then rejoin the tour.
Wow. Okay.
What a risky plan.
Yeah, and that's what we did.
Yeah, sure.
So, like, what do you do with your rental car at that point? Do you just hope you get dropped off halfway through the...
Well, no. So what we would have done is we would have just had to follow the bus in our car. We would have had to shadow the bus the whole time.
Yeah.
So we get to where our GPS says the place is, but we don't see the entrance.
Wait, couldn't you have just followed the first bus then?
No, they were going to completely different areas.
Oh, okay.
So we thought that too, and like, no, we're going to this. We're taking a ferry, et cetera, et cetera. You guys are just on this tour, and you have to go to that.
Yeah.
So we drive down there. We get to where the GPS says, but we don't see the actual entrance to the place. So we throw it into Google Maps on our phones, and it tells us to go somewhere completely different, like 20 minutes away. We drive there. We get like a beautiful view, but some locals tell us, yeah, your GPS told you the wrong way. Here's where you're supposed to go. And it was back where the GPS originally told us. We just didn't drive far enough past where it told us to stop.
Oh.
So we missed the bus. We get to the actual park that we're supposed to be in. The bus driver's there. He says, yeah, the group went left 15 minutes ago to go into like the park for the tour. So if you run down there, you might find them.
Yeah.
But he left out the part where the park was a maze.
Oh, God.
So we ran down and couldn't find them. We spent 2 hours hiking around in this park trying to find them or anything Game of Thrones related.
Yeah.
We found the bridge where he finds the direwolf puppies in like the first couple episodes of Game of Thrones. So like we found like a little plaque and stuff like that, but we never found our group. We also accidentally stumbled across a film set.
Oh.
For Game of Thrones itself.
No,
and you're on the new season.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
We're time travelers in the last season of Game of Thrones. That's it. No, we found a set for the show Krypton, the Superman themed show that's going on right now. Like they
Cool.
had their trailers there, they had like their staff vehicles, they had a bunch of their lighting and stuff around, but like no one was there, so we just kind of walked around this abandoned set.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So we spent about 2 hours in the forest and walked about 10 plus kilometers. Got back to our cars, or to our car, and found that the bus had already left. So we were like, all right, fuck it. Let's just go back to the hotel and then figure out what the hell we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So on the way there, Reese realizes, wait, if they're driving to different locations, that probably means Winterfell is really near us. So she threw it into Google and she found where we were supposed to go. So we just started doing the tour ourselves.
Sure. Yeah.
Which was funny because we kept driving past the bus. Like we saw like the bus we were supposed to be on.
And
We're
just like flipping them the bird every time.
So we did all this driving in like these little small ass roads, and we got to the park where Winterfell was filmed in, and we found out it's very CG.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So like with the park guy tells us like, yeah, you can go in and look at it, but like you'll notice that there's like maybe 3 or 4 towers versus the 20 you see on the show.
Yeah.
It's because they CG a lot of it in and they record some of it in a different location.
Yeah. You can go in there, but there's no dragons, I assure you.
Pretty much.
Shameful.
We found the building that like Bran gets thrown off of in the first episode, and that's about it. Oh no, they had like a couple other places to check out too that we walked around, but like it was mostly like a big bust. We at least got to like see some cool things. They had a gift shop and that, so we saw some cool stuff. But like,
cool.
It was just not worth the hassle, which was kind of sucked. We still enjoyed it, but it was like this really soured our mood. So the main reason we went on the tour was this Game of Thrones thing. So the fact that our honeymoon company fucked up that bad, and we didn't get the thing we wanted, we were just pissed.
Yeah.
Have they provided any compensation for this or anything?
We're still waiting on word back.
Okay. So would you recommend doing this tour? Maybe not with the tour group, but just seeing these sites anyway?
With an actual tour, like with people talking about stuff, learning things, and actually knowing where to walk and not getting lost in forests, probably.
Okay.
Like there was like 3 or 4 more locations we were supposed to go to. We only did 2 and we were just done.
Sure.
Because at that point we had walked like 12 plus kilometers and we are not fit people. So we were just like, all right, no, this needs to stop.
Okay.
Sure.
So we went back to Belfast and we're like, all right, screw it. We don't want to stay here. Like, it's not worth it. The only reason we came here was for this, and another night in this hotel is going to piss us off.
Yeah.
So we left early and went to our next destination, which was Donegal Castle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we ended up getting to this place, and apparently it just is the goddamn Clue Mansion.
Right.
Like,
was this
like
the highlight of the trip then?
This was the highlight of the trip. So this was an actual 5-star hotel. We had like a giant, like beautiful room. They had like a spa service.
They
had like,
every night.
Yeah, exactly.
Figure it out.
It was real good. No, it was super cool. We had like lovely dinner, stuff like that. We got to relax. We got to see a little town nearby. It was just really good. We got like 3 days of just relaxing and unwinding after that shit.
Cool. Yeah.
So then we drove out to our last stop, which was Trim. Now they have a castle in Trim, which apparently was featured in Braveheart.
Okay.
Which was weird because that's a Scottish-based movie.
Yep.
But yeah, like we got to go visit the castle and like walk around it. We had to take pictures from the roof of it. We got to walk around the town a little bit. We met another viewer there actually.
Oh, cool.
Oh man.
They lived in the area, but like it was a nice, relaxing day. We got to stay in like a nice little bed and breakfast, and we drove back to Dublin. Got into the airport, got on our plane, and we had a stopover for about an hour and a half in London. And then we were supposed to come to Calgary directly after like an 8-hour flight. Our plane gets in late to London. We run across the airport to get to our plane, barely make it, and then we are stuck sitting on the tarmac for 3 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah. So originally they had problems boarding us onto the plane or like getting the luggage in. Something was missing, so they had to wait for that. Then at that point the rain picked up, so everyone slowed down leaving the airport, so we had to wait in line. And then as we started moving towards the actual runway, the stewardesses ran up to someone who was sick. Apparently, like she had to get rushed off the plane and brought to a hospital, but that took another 2 hours. So we spent 3 hours just sitting on the tarmac. We have not had a chance to eat because we ran directly from our plane to that plane. And we also did not get the seats that we paid for. We paid for like legroom seats.
Yeah.
And our tickets did not have that. And we were in like regular ass cram, like my knees were hitting the other seat kind of seats.
Sure.
The only reason we didn't kick up a bigger fuss was because no one was in the middle seat, so we could actually stretch out.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But like it was just like super miserable. It just sucked. So we spent 3 hours with like no AC on. It just like the whole plane was just super hot. We were trying not to sleep so we could actually fall asleep back in our normal time. It just was miserable.
So
and like this is British Airways, which we were told is supposed to be one of the best airlines, and it just felt like one of the worst experiences we'd had on a plane in a while.
So one silver lining. If you guys had left on time, that person would probably have been a corpse that you would have flown with for 8 hours, or had to stop over in somewhere bad.
I've been on a plane where we've had to land somewhere because of a medical emergency.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would have doubled back, and we would not have made it to Calgary at all that night.
That night, yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those things that, in a way, it might have been for the best, but like it just sucks. It's a bad situation.
So, like, do you recommend having a honeymoon?
Yeah. Yes, but maybe don't fly with me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
And that was the honeymoon.
Cool, man.
And now we're home, and now I'm sick. So, hooray!
Great.
Yeah. You don't.
I haven't been up to much. Paul, where are you?
I went to an art thing that the government of Alberta put on last night, but it was kind of boring. I don't know. It's cool seeing some of the art stuff, but then you're just standing there for a few hours and like, well, I'm done looking at the stuff. I'm gonna go.
I mean, that's the point, is looking at the art, right?
Yeah, but there wasn't enough to make it worth 4 hours worth of time.
Okay.
That was the problem mainly. Yeah, it was okay. Nothing new.
I'm doing something cool later today. Hopefully it's cool, and maybe I can talk about it next week. I'm going to a women's wrestling lube tournament.
Okay.
Over in the city.
Okay, I'm making sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. My friend invited me, which is why we moved the podcast up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see why. I have been to one of these, weirdly.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Okay.
So
was it good?
I mean, are you into watching that?
I don't know. I've never watched that. I don't know.
I had friends competing, so it was a little awkward.
Okay.
And it was also weird because my girlfriend at the time wanted to go, so it was like double awkward.
That sounds great. That's better than
guess.
your girlfriend not wanting you to go. And just being like, if you go, man, you're on the couch.
No, because she was like, oh man, let's go watch our friends like mud wrestle. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to it.
Sure.
So maybe I can talk about that next week. But
all right, sounds good.
Anyway, for now, let's do some podcast. This is the Top Down Perspective for October 13th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
And Paul, what have you been playing?
So the game I want to talk about this week is called The Missing, J.J. Macfield and the Island of Memories. For people not in the know, you might know this as Swery's new game, or his studio's new game with him at the forefront, of course.
One of his new games, because he also has the Kickstarter one. I feel like he's doing like 3 games right now or something.
This is the new game in that it's out, and the other ones aren't yet.
Sure.
And this just came out a couple days ago, I think. Maybe even just yesterday. I can't remember.
I think it was
Thursday.
Thursday? Oh,
it was Thursday, yeah.
Because I was flying, I couldn't grab it.
Yeah, okay. So, I will say, I'm not going to say any spoiler stuff, obviously. I will say that the thing that the story does, I thought they did more tactfully than they were going to, so that made me happy by the end. And, it is batshit crazy, as you would expect a sweary game to be.
There's sweary in there?
It's painfully sweary.
Oh, that's very good to hear.
So what the game is, though, is if you think about Inside or Limbo, it's a 2D puzzle platformer type game where the main mechanic is you getting murdered in different ways to like progress. This is usually in the way of saw blades cutting up your body and then you moving as just a head or a torso through tight spots, or using the momentum from a saw blade cutting you apart to get to high areas you can't reach normally.
Oh, that's how it works in the missing? Because that's not limbo or...
No,
or
that's how it
inside.
works in the missing. Yeah, that's the mechanic is you are able to regenerate at will, so you use your body by throwing it into things haphazardly to either get hurt on purpose in different ways to get like further along in the game, or to get like secret areas and stuff. In that regard, like there's a few warnings at the very beginning, and I will state them here, that there are things people could get triggered by, for sure. There's a lot of like just mutilation stuff, obviously. There's a lot of suicide stuff going on in there, and like emotional abuse stuff, and it can be rough if those are triggers at all, so just be warned about that. Otherwise, it's totally fine. I think in some parts it's a little tedious. It feels like some parts were maybe tacked on to just add time, and they didn't add a whole lot otherwise, but it's a video game. What are you going to do?
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, how long is it?
5 hours I took. And I was going...
And I think it's 30 American.
Yes.
And you at least you enjoyed it then, you'd say?
I will say there was a point in... I think if I did this over 2 sessions, I would have enjoyed it more. I was getting tired of its bullshit by about the halfway point, but then it picks up again. Like, it kind of feels like they thought out the beginning and they thought out the end quite well, or like they thought out this thing, and then in the middle they just kind of put like some gameplay stuff. And I think the gameplay is one of the weaker things in this game, because mechanically and just like the way it plays, it's a little sloppy in the way that swear games always are. Like, it's just a little off of being good.
Sure. So you're saying the gameplay is the weak part. Do you mean then the story is the strong part?
The story and the stuff going around with the characters is definitely the strong part. The gameplay is fine when it feels like there is a reason to the platforming and there was some design put in. There's like literally a stretch of maybe an hour and a half where it feels like they just added this mechanic and like you having to get around with it just because it added time and a thing to do. It's hard to talk about without saying what exactly it is, but it's one of these things that when you regenerate from it, it does the same animation every time that takes about 10 actual real-time seconds every time, and you need to do that a lot. So it's just like a lot of wasted time in animation. Yeah. And then, like I said, again, swear game, it's just a little bit off of like really good tight controls and stuff, so it feels a little sloppy in parts. But I think it's easy to overlook by the end. And then the end does some weird anime bullshit, because of course it does, but that's kind of the draw, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So I recommend it with the caveat that you shouldn't be squeamish. Know that there are some real serious life like lesson stuff going on in there that can be a little hard if you are a person that has either dealt with those issues or know somebody that has, and that it's maybe about an hour longer than it needs to be. Otherwise, yeah, I totally recommend it.
Yeah, I could see, because that's a high price for like 5 hours, and if they had cut that out,
yeah,
going down from there was not ideal. So
yeah. But that's pretty much all I'll talk about this week for what I've been playing.
Okay, I'll continue because John talked a lot already.
Yeah.
I've been playing just a bit more of The Messenger. Like I said last week, I kind of started into like the second portion of that game.
Yeah.
And I've played some of it, and it's fine. I wish I had more of like a waypoint on like where these are. And I know it's kind of supposed to be about exploring and finding, you know, these hidden like doors and paths and stuff like that.
Can I ask you where you are?
I have one music note.
Oh, you have one. Okay.
Like I collected one.
Yeah.
I'm working on my second one.
Uh-huh.
I kind of just don't like the searching. I would really rather just like, okay, I know I need to go here, and then let me kind of go through like the the rooms and the platforming to get there.
You know that you can just get told where to go, right?
Yeah.
You can pay for hints, yeah. I just don't have enough of those
Well,
things. I don't want to grind for them.
There's free hints, and then there's the paid, like, I'll mark it on your map hint.
Yeah.
But so the free hint that give you immediately is like really just obtuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they all
Yes. So that, I mean, maybe I'm not figuring it out, but those don't seem to help me at all.
I'll tell you this. There was one I screwed up on, and I had to actually pay for it because I was like, I couldn't figure it out on my own, and it ends up I just screwed up because I got through that area earlier and didn't realize that something that was there.
Sure. So I mean, at the moment, if I have the money, I'm gonna spend it on a new upgrade.
Yep.
So if I get all the upgrades, then I'll start buying some hints. But for the most part, like I'm almost thinking of kind of just looking for a guide because I don't want to just like be doing kind of busy work trying to find these places. I'd rather just be like progressing at all times.
Sure.
That's just me.
So to your point, I felt like I really like the messenger just as a like forefront to this. I felt that it drags at that point that you're at talking about specifically. I think those levels are good for the way they are designed for the like first part of that game, and then it just gets annoying at some point, like especially when you're doing the 100% stuff and like moving around a lot in them without like a good fast travel, really. So, but yeah, that's my main problem with it. If you're not doing 100%, you'll probably feel less of that than I did. So,
Yeah, I don't plan to.
Yeah, so at least there's that.
Apart from that, I finished up the Overcooked 2 DLC.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just like real difficult for no good reason. And so like, yeah, if you, like I said on the last show, in case you didn't listen to that one, Overcooked 1 was weirdly difficult for like essentially a party game.
Yeah.
And then Overcooked 2 fixed that. And then the DLC for Overcooked 2 went back to the difficulty level of Overcooked 1 for God knows why. And what makes it even more confusing is, I don't know if this was part of this DLC or it was just another update that happened and I hadn't played Overcooked, so they kind of came at the same time for me. There's a new game plus mode where you can kind of just replay everything and it adds a 4th star. It's like, okay, so added challenge. When you finish the DLC, you unlock the option to go for a 4th star for all of the DLC as well, which means it gets even harder. And I'm sitting there being like, so if you already have this built-in hard mode that gets unlocked when you finish it, why make the full game or what, like the main part of the DLC hard? Yeah. As opposed to hard and then harder. Why didn't they go with like, easy and casual and now harder?
I do agree with you.
I can't even get 3 stars on these. I was fighting to get 2 stars, and now I have the option to go for 4. That is literally never going to happen.
Yeah, that's a consistency problem for sure.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
But again, the core Overcooked 2, they added the 4 star there. That's fine. I was getting 3 stars on a lot of those. Like, yeah, if I want the challenge, now I have it. But it's super puzzling with this DLC.
Yeah.
But again, it's $6 and it was more Overcooked, so that's great. So I like that part.
Sure.
Still kind of cruising through Horizon 4. I've finished the tutorial, so now I'm in the actual like game of once a week the seasons change. Right now I believe it is winter, which is like the hardest season to be in because everything is real slippery.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. But it's cool. They have like live events every hour on the hour. It basically just like puts a ping down. And because there's always like 40 people in your game, it's like, hey, you have 2 minutes to get here, and then we're going to start just a big event together.
That's
and those are kind of fun to go do.
Yeah.
And there'll be just random challenges, similar to like in Burnout, where it's like, hey, everyone go to this track and just get as fast as you can, and we're going to add up all of your speeds. And once we get to like 1 million, we're going to move on to the next one. I don't think it handles it as nicely as Burnout Paradise does.
Right.
But then again, I could say that about every single racing game ever made.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's kind of nice that it still works fine and stuff like that. So that game's still real good.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to talk about connecting to Forza is I got an Xbox One X.
Yes.
And I cannot wait to see what Forza looks like on that bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it plugged in or anything because I didn't want it to be downloading all my games while we were doing this.
Sure.
And just throwing off my internet. But what's also exciting is that I got approved to get Sonic later this month. So I'm going to be getting that good gigabit.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Comcast raised my internet bill because I guess my promotion ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked, can I have it back? And they said, no, that was just a 2-year promotion. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go get gigabit then. And it's cheaper and it's like 6 times faster.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not going to have that for when I'm downloading all these games, but I get that at the end of the month, and that'll be nice. And I'm excited to have this X because I get a terabyte of space again, no more 500 gigs. And like as I was telling you guys, GameStop had a deal right now where if you trade in an S, they give you $250 towards an X. So I got it for like half price, which was a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to. Because I had the 4K and everything and the 60 frames for the PlayStation, but I use my Xbox more, so I'm excited to have really utilize my TV at all times now. So I'm excited to see what Forza looks like because I'm sure it looks great because it already looks great.
For sure.
John, what have you been playing?
So, like I said, it was really hard to charge the Switch while I was gone, so I did not play too much on the Switch. My original intention had been to finish up Picross and then play a minute for the Patreon podcast or Mega Man 11. And I don't even think I finished Picross before I got back. I think I had to finish it here. So I played a lot of Picross S2 and done that. But because we lost a day on the honeymoon, I was home and able to play Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise on PS4.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool. I've been seeing people at the office playing this.
It's really good. If you like Yakuza games, it is just Yakuza with Fist of the North Star, and that is perfectly fine by me.
It looked like it, yeah, for sure. That's awesome. All right.
It's making people explode and going on stupid-ass stories, serving margaritas. It's great.
Cool.
Highly recommended if you like Fist of the North Star and or Yakuza.
How much have you played of it? Like, how far in?
Not too much. I'm only a couple chapters in, but...
you know how long it is?
Not off the top of my head, but if it's anything like more recent Yakuza games, it's got a decent length. Let's see what How Long to Beat says.
Did you guys see that PlayStation Plus's November games got leaked, and Yakuza Kiwami is one of them?
Oh wow,
neat.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
How Long to Beat currently says main story is about 25 hours.
Wow.
So that matches up with the Kiwamis, actually. So.
Okay, sure. Neat.
Completionist, I'm sure, is way more like 60 plus.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it looks great. It plays good. If you don't know Fist of the North Star at all, I think this is still approachable because it starts at the end of the first story arc. So, like, let's say episode 22 out of like 106 or something like that.
Sure.
So you might be a little lost at the beginning, but then they start explaining things pretty well, and then it kind of turns off into its own side story, which while still pulling things from later on. So you'll see characters in places they wouldn't normally be, and they'll kind of explain it. So I think even if you don't know Fist of the North Star, it's still approachable.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty important. And it sounds like there's enough in there that like super fans will still get like a kick out of all the little Easter eggs and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Cool.
All the heat actions are replaced with with basically all the Hokuto Shinken moves. So like 100 Crack Rush, like picking people up with one finger and throwing them into other people, then they explode.
Great.
Like throwing them in the walls and great. It's great. I'm super into it.
Cool. I can't wait to hear more.
That is my recommendation. Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Cool.
All right, let's do some news before John dies.
Please, thank you.
All right,
Paul, I'll let you start these off.
So Lucas Pope, best known for his game Papers, Please, probably, and some other little indie stuff that kind of related tangentially to that world he created. His new
Papers,
game,
Please, probably being the sequel to Papers, Please. I liked it a lot more, personally.
Yeah. Yes. So his new game finally is going to be coming out. He gave a date and stuff of October 18th. So Return of the Oberdin will be out. That is the like monochromatic old DOS looking ship game where you're on this like abandoned ghost ship essentially of the Oberdin that got lost at sea years ago. I think this is part of the like India Trading Company times of like the early 90s or late 80s or something in there. And you're trying to figure out what the hell happened here. And it sounds really cool. It looks really cool. That guy makes interesting stuff. So I'm probably going to take a look at that, and I will give my opinions accordingly when I do so. But if you want to check it out, Return of the Oberdin, October 18th for $20, and you can see if it's any good, I guess. There's going to be like YouTube stuff about it, I'm sure, too. So, yeah. The second thing I put in here, the Shape-Shifting Detective, coming November 6th. This is a new murder mystery FMV game from the people that made the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. I can't remember their company name right now, and I didn't put it down here for whatever reason. But it stars the guy who plays Detective Jenks from Contradiction.
Oh, now I'm interested because I had no idea about any of this.
Yeah, it's one of those. So the idea is there was a murder in this house. The guy who Detective Jenks in this version he's like a cop or something, says in this trailer that he knows who did it. He just needs the proof, and that's what you're doing basically. You'll be questioning people, looking around for evidence and whatnot, and then probably just pointing the finger at somebody and being wrong, because that's how these games always go. They always throw some dumb twist in and like a lot of red herrings and stuff, but it's all in the fun.
And for those who don't know, Detective Jenks was the protagonist in Contradiction, which is a game we did on the Patreon podcast.
Yeah, which I also highly recommend if people haven't played. You should play Contradiction, and if you have and you haven't listened to it, you should become a patron and listen to that episode and see what we had to say about it. But yeah, so the Shape-Shifting Detective, November 6th, and I think that's going to be I think that was like $30 or something. I didn't grab the price tag. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the next one, I guess, was one that was submitted, but I figured it should just be in here for posterity's sake. Mike Morhaime, who has been the CEO and president of Blizzard or Activision Blizzard or whatever since the 90s, is stepping down. And his partner in crime that was, I can't remember that dude's name because he wasn't in the limelight ever, so I'll quickly look it up here. But yeah, he's stepping down as CEO, and the other dude is coming in.
J. Allen Brack.
J. Allen Brack, yep. So, yeah, just a changing of the guard. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I just think that should be in there because Blizzard is a huge company.
Sure.
This is a pretty big change. So, yeah. All right.
Was this next one submitted as well? It must have been. I didn't put it here, so.
Yes, it was. So
Sony is officially working on a next-gen console.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't grab this primarily because it was just like, I mean, of course
they are. Yeah.
Everyone is like.
Yep. And they don't have any other news, just that it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at this point, they're also probably even looking into what might be next. You know what I mean? Like, they're constantly like years ahead of us. So like, no duh.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I just got my Pro last year, so I'm in no rush to get a new PlayStation.
Sure. Agreed.
But more excitingly is that they're finally going to enable you to change your PlayStation name.
Yep.
Which is crazy. A few kind of stipulations and whatnot. The first one's free, which is great.
Yeah.
I think I might actually do it just to like get it to Sean Booker.
What is it?
Why not?
Now?
It's like it's like my usual like Angel Gamer one that like my Xbox has.
Oh, okay.
And then so first change is free. After that, it's gonna be $10 or $5 if you are a PS Plus member. However, a lot of older games, it sounds like, primarily on the PS3 and PS Vita,
Yeah.
they won't be able to reflect this in the way that they were designed with their online system. So you'll actually still have your old one as well. So you'll have two at this point, which is weird.
Yeah, that's kind of clunky. Okay.
That sounds like it would be even more difficult going forward, but
yeah.
I don't know. They're doing that. It says compatible with PS4 games originally published after April 1st of 2018, and large majority of most played PS4 games released prior. Those will be the ones that you'll actually see the change.
Weird.
And I don't believe it says when this is happening.
Yeah.
It'll be part of a preview program scheduled to conclude at the end of November, and then the full rollout will be early 2019. So there you go.
Cool. About time.
Stardew Valley is coming to iOS.
It's actually coming to Android as well, just mobile in general.
Okay. It is $8. No in-app purchases. Cool.
You can move your world from PC onto it as well. Onto that version.
Oh, interesting. Just PC or any of them?
The article I read said PC only, but
okay.
But they didn't stipulate PC only, if you know what I mean. They just didn't mention the other ones. But probably.
Right. I wonder if there's any kind of like cross-play if you can go back and forth.
Well,
or
it
if
sounds
it's a
like
one-time transfer.
No, it sounds like you import it. So maybe in theory you could like all keep importing it to continue on, but I don't think like it talks
importing it back and forth.
Yeah.
Maybe. There are rumors that Microsoft is buying Obsidian Entertainment, developers of what's
Fallout
that?
New Vegas.
Oh yeah, what's the spy one?
KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
Spy one.
I'm trying to think.
What is that? What is that spy game?
I was also about to say, like, what's the last game that they even did? And then you brought up something I don't remember.
It was before Fallout New Vegas. Oh, geez. How is it also?
I got a list here somewhere. Oh, right. They did Stick of Truth. I forgot about that. Alpha Protocol is what you're thinking of.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yep. That's right. Nice.
Kotaku reported on this. They said one person with knowledge of the deal told Kotaku they'd heard it was 90% finished.
Okay.
Second person said it's a matter of when, not if. Makes kind of sense. Microsoft is out there just buying people. They want more first-party stuff, which I think is a good move. Because if you look at Microsoft's first-party lineup for this holiday, it's Forza, and that's it.
It's real bad.
This year has definitely been dominated by Sony, hands down.
Yeah.
And this could also lead to like more kind of like, because I feel like all of Microsoft's first-party stuff, at least this year, has been heavily focused on multiplayer. They don't really have a single-player presence at the moment, and Sony is just kind of scooping that department with Spider-Man and God of War. Because earlier this year we had Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, both heavily focused multiplayer games, and Forza Horizon 4 to an extent as well.
Sure.
That's cool. I feel like Obsidian just kind of needs someone to just give them some money to make a cool game, because they've definitely made cool games in the past.
Yeah, I'm excited for them to have money behind them, actually. I want to see more games like Pillars of Eternity and stuff with like budgets behind them, and I know they have the Pathfinder rights that they can do stuff with as well. So like with Microsoft money behind that, they could do something really freaking cool. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
Continuing on. Oh, I thought this was just kind of weird. I don't really understand why. Fortnite is apparently getting a physical version in the UK. And it comes with like some skins and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't understand who this is for, because you're still going to need an internet connection to play Fortnite.
Because apparently I heard through the grapevine through a friend of mine who works at GameStop, he gets like 100 questions every fucking day of where do I buy Fortnite.
And they just say Fortnite.com.
Yeah, I think he just says go online. Like just Google it. So there is a market there, weirdly, for a physical version of Fortnite with stuff. People want to spend money for this thing because the parents just hear Fortnite is the hot game. Where do I get games? Oh, that store that sells games. I'll just pick it up.
Store, and then they ask for Fortnite. Yeah, I guess. It just, a lot of the times when I hear like a digital game getting a physical version, it's for people who like, well, I can't download it or whatever. And
Sure.
it's like, but this is a scenario. It's like, well, you're going to need to be able to download it. Like, this is an online focused game.
This game has gotten so big, it's past the barrier of just gamers are wanting to get it, which is why this is a physical thing.
Sure. I mean, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, to be fair, I bought a physical version of PUBG from Amazon, even though it was just a code they sent me, but I got that discount on it.
That's gonna be a fucking collector's item, though, because that's a weird thing.
I don't think I have that box.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're done then. It's good.
Again, it was, but keep in mind, it was an empty box with a code in it. So
yes,
like,
that's so good.
Can't see that being a collector's
Oh,
item.
that's so good.
Anyway, that's happening, I guess.
Yeah.
And then another like, okay, I guess news. Borderlands 2 is coming to VR.
Why
Okay.
not?
That's kind of like the gist of it. Is like, I can't really think of a reason not to, but I also can't really think of a reason for it either.
Well, I can think of a reason for it. Gearbox needs money.
Sure. I understand this version has no multiplayer.
Oh, okay. I don't care then.
Wait, whoa,
Like-
hold up. Really?
I think so. I think I heard that. I haven't.
It makes sense it wouldn't if it's VR. We're not at that point, really.
Hey, there are definitely multiplayer VR games.
Not to that
A lot of
scale. Not to that scale, though. That Borderlands, like, they probably couldn't get it to work properly, so they just scrapped it.
But is it worth releasing the single player product then at that point?
I mean, if you ask me, no, because I've played that game 1,000 times. But I don't know. It might look neat. I think that art style might be okay in VR. Or it might make me sick.
Double check it. It is not multiplayer.
That might make me sick, actually. Because I remember feeling a little woozy sometimes with, like, a low field of view in the normal game. Just because of the way the, like, designs for stuff is. So, I don't know. But if you're a super fan, there you go. You can play it in VR now.
It's a cool art style, so I guess being like immersion
Yeah.
in it is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, where's Borderlands 3? Come on, give it to me. I'm ready.
Yeah.
They did. It was called pre-sequel and no one liked it.
That's true. You're right.
Yep.
That's why I want a proper Borderlands 3. I need to still play more of pre-sequel. I barely touched that game.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some questions. If you want to send questions in, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Facebook group, the Discord channel, and John's P.O. Box.
I'm going to start off with TDP episode names.
Okay, please.
Okay. So, going back a few weeks to, I guess this would be August 17th, Kingdom Hearts Tokyo Drift is the title.
Oh, I think we were talking about the ridiculous subtitles that Kingdom Hearts games have when I was playing through it with Reese.
Oh, and maybe
Yeah.
I mentioned how Fast and Furious titles are kind of weird as well.
I think specifically with, like, convoluted timelines and stuff like that, and that, like, this game being a sequel, but it taking place, like, here and here in the story and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think so, too. And the context was the host joking about the complexity of Kingdom Hearts. There you go.
Okay.
The week after, on the 24th, what if they buy all the pizza in Seattle? I have
Oh,
no...
the Devil May Cry party.
Oh, okay. What if they buy all the pizza?
Okay.
Yeah. I think this was specifically that John was going to miss it, or missed it, or whatever at this point.
Yeah, I was going to miss it because it was the same time as the panel. So I was like, I want to go to a pizza party. And Sean says, well, you can just buy pizza later. And then someone said, what if they buy all the pizza in Seattle?
In Seattle, yeah.
Sure.
So John was down about the fact he can go to DMC5 pizza party event because the panel was at the same time. It was suggested that he can have his own pizza party, but Sean asked this question. There you go.
Okay.
The 31st. It's like Just Dance for sexual harassment.
I don't think I was here for this one.
It's like Just
I'm
Dance
assuming
for
this.
sexual
Did we talk
harassment.
about like We Dare?
Yes, totally.
Because I know that came up kind of recently. I don't remember why we were talking about We Dare.
Me neither. But yeah, just like lewd acts with a Wiimote, essentially.
Yep.
Context. A question came in about ridiculous gameplay. Yeah, that's why we did. And it eventually went to the game We Dare. This is how Paul describes that game. Kind of true.
I think that only came out in Europe. John, you should have picked up a copy of We Dare.
Yeah, John.
I didn't see it when I was in Ireland.
Okay. Wait, did you look? Are you saying you looked?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, did you go to like a game store or something gaming related there?
I went to a game store. We found a game store nearby where we were wandering around.
Cool.
Yeah, isn't it just called Game in Europe?
It was called Oh no, so they have GameStop there. We walked past a GameStop.
Right, but I think well, at least when I was in Europe, they had a game store, a chain. I thought it was called just Game.
Yeah, there's a game store chain called Game. I didn't see it there.
Okay.
I went to like a local place called, I think, Rage. Yeah, the bag's right in front of me. It's Rage.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. September 7th. Nothing will survive the Proton John effect. Fuck would this be? Okay, what is the Proton John effect?
Is this flight issues? Is it flight issues or glitching? It's one of the two.
Did you go somewhere around September 7th?
PAX.
I would have been coming back from PAX.
Yeah, he would have been back from PAX.
Okay.
Did you have a specific incident on a flight back from PAX?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
I have so many incidents that they all blend together.
Pretty much.
I have no idea.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna count this as a loss for us. You guys were talking about how John should get a sponsorship from luggage companies, but
right, because my suitcase broke.
But then joke that his luggage gets lost and damaged so much those companies would not want to sponsor him. Yeah, that's right. September 14th. For those 7 days, you're a god. For those 7 days, you're a god.
Honeymoon talk?
I don't think so. I think I may have said this.
Yeah, this definitely has a Sean feeling to it.
I don't know. I don't think it's honeymoon related.
No? Okay. Then I have no idea. Context was John was playing a PC version of Clue. Sean wanted to know if you could game the leaderboards. John said the leaderboards reset every week. This is how Sean viewed that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yep.
September 21st. The only source of money in the future after the robots have won. Only source of money in the future after the robots have won.
I don't know if I was here for this one, was I?
Probably not.
The 21st? You only missed two, so
yeah. This would have been the last one that I was here for then.
I don't remember.
I don't either. I have
I
no
think
idea.
Paul may have said this though.
Probably. It sounds like some dumb shit, I'd say.
It's probably like some copies of like some dumb game or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably something like that. I'm going to count this as a loss for us as well. Context was, I was describing the second use for the PlayStation Classic. Right. First being exposure to a new generation. Okay, there you go. September 29th. Previously on Telltale's ridiculous bullshit.
Okay, this is just, Telltale, like, is dying.
Yeah.
And I believe Paul actually said that.
Okay, let's see. Context is, since Sean wasn't on the previous podcast and things got worse, Sean asked for a brief recap, and this is the title Paul gave that endeavor. Yeah, okay.
Right.
And I guess this was last week, right? The 7th? Yeah, because we were late. The 7th. It's a dumb thing, but everyone's winning.
Oh, this was me talking about the Mixer streaming from Forza.
Yep, I agree. And the context was how Sean describes getting influence in Forza Horizon 4 by streaming on Mixer.
Yep.
There you go. Thank you for submitting those. Always a blast.
All right, I'll read this first question from Jason. Last week, you guys were asked what the difference is between RPGs and JRPGs, and both of you were at a bit of a loss when it came to specifics. A few years ago, the series Extra Credits did a few episodes about the differences between the two, and some of the big differences they brought out were the focuses on characters and story. Sure. JRPGs tend to have more of a focus on telling a large, cohesive story driven by the characters, whereas American RPGs tend toward the character experiencing a large, interconnected world through an adventure. JRPGs also tend to have the player take on the role of an existing character, while in American RPGs, you are the character. Okay, so this is just kind of a follow-up. Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually appreciate that follow-up. That's dope. Huh. Cool. Okay.
John, do you want to take this next one from Eduardo?
Sure. Eduardo writes in and says, "What is a good gateway fighting game, and what are some good rock bands with female singers?"
Okay. Gateway fighting games. Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball, Tekken.
Yep.
Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Are there some that you're like, stay away from these ones?
Most Arc system games.
Which is funny because that's what Dragon Ball Fighters is.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Dragon Ball, like the inputs on that one are pretty straightforward, so it's easy to pick up.
The combos are pretty easy. I will say though, the concept of like the tag is confusing.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like you need to tag out so that this person can regenerate health. And you can like bring them into assist, but you can also swap. That part definitely gets confusing.
Yeah.
I think Soul Calibur is a pretty good one.
Soul Calibur is a good one. Yep.
Because there's a high end and there's a low end field, so I think you're fine. I think the idea is that basically Namco is the best at finding like a balance, because high end Tekken is intense and great to watch.
Yeah.
But like low end Tekken is actually really easy to pick up.
Yep. Very true.
Right, and they made Soul Calibur 6. They're making it like easier with like super moves just on like on the trigger and stuff like that. Also Smash.
Sure.
Also Smash.
That's kind of a different school.
Power Stone.
Power Stone.
Yeah, that's the answer right there. Yep. Good rock bands with female singers. Heart is the one that comes to mind instantly. I love Heart.
I just came across a new one. Let me look it up again.
Okay.
Just troll people by saying the Cardigans.
They had that song I've listened to multiple times.
I found this one band called Stand Atlantic that I like quite a bit. As a female singer.
Okay. I like, oh my god, what's their name? Lacuna Coil quite a bit. I like a lot of like weird metal-y things with a female singer. I like the play between very heavy backing music with like kind of a higher vocal.
See, I find myself the opposite, which is why, because I like kind of the heavy music, but for whatever reason, it doesn't connect with me with the female singer. You might like Stand Atlantic.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they're kind of like that.
You have told me to listen to them before. I think I have. I've heard that.
I have.
I've heard
just
that name
found
before.
like them last week.
I've definitely heard that name before.
Although I did find some new music that I need to recommend you, so remind me after the show.
Okay.
And then I also listened to Paramore back in the day.
Yeah, Paramore.
I know they're making new stuff, but I'm not into it as much as their early stuff.
I guess in that vein, Tsunami Bomb was kind of my go-to for like a punkish female singer, front man.
Baby metal.
Baby metal is the answer. Yeah, we found it. Okay, Matthew Weston says, a few weeks ago, I started using my bike to get around university. Initially, it was difficult and exhausting activity that I thought was due to being out of shape. However, recently, I learned the actual problem when my tires were deflated. After getting that fixed, I could bike around campus with ease. My question, have you ever had difficulty doing anything only to discover the problem was you were unknowingly playing on hard mode?
It's a great story. It's very funny.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Difficulty doing anything only to discover I was playing on hard mode. I mean, in a video game sense, that happens a lot where I didn't realize the default was like the hard mode because I just kind of hit start always.
Yeah, I don't really think he's talking about it in a video game sense for the most part.
I'm trying to think of like real life stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sure there's
nothing is coming to mind, which is a bummer. It's basically just like, what is something that was like hard to do because you're an idiot?
Sure. I mean, if that was the question though, like school would have been my answer, I guess. You are only playing on hard mode.
The only thing I can think of in this like barely counts. So when I do like my Spartan races, you always have to climb a rope.
Okay.
And I know there's a foot technique that makes it super easy
Okay.
to climb a rope, where you like put the rope between your legs and you move your feet and certain things. So you're kind of standing on one foot, and then you can just like stand there. I can never figure it out, so I do it with just my arms alone, which is difficult. Luckily enough, like I have the upper body strength where I can do that,
Sure.
but it's just it should be a lot harder. That's the only thing that comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
Anything for you, John?
I know there's got to be something, but it's not coming to mind right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. VGC Kenny writes.
This
all
was
right,
from
John.
3
Time
weeks
for
ago.
a little inside baseball.
Mhm.
Between your videos and anything you know about TRG videos, are there any videos that were previously monetized but have since been demonetized due to new rules and stipulations set up by YouTube?
Too many to count.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems to be the answer for everybody on YouTube. Such a bummer.
What did something change recently or something?
I wouldn't say recently, but they've been cracking down on a lot of things more often.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just in general, their algorithms, every time there's a change, kind of hit everybody either wrongfully or rightfully.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And then 2, when you finish all of the videos you need for your current LP projects, are you going to switch to being a full-time streamer aside from TRG projects?
I mean, that's already what I am.
Yeah,
A
for
full-time streamer aside from TRG projects. I'm going to try, like, YouTube's going to start picking back up in a bit, but, like, it's never going to be full-time. It's going to be part-time.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to take this next one because there's no way John will get through this.
With his
Thanks.
voice.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, there's no way he'll get through this. So Rasserman wrote in and says, let's talk about bikes for a couple minutes. I really like bikes. I want your response to some of these questions. 1. What are, in your opinion, some of the best games you've played that make use of a bike in any shape or form? You can interpret this as either the game's very good, but there's also a bike and isn't used for much. Or the game is whatever, but the bike mechanics make it fun. Let's say that the bike mechanics at least have to be there and good, maybe.
It needs a wheel and a pedal, so Uniracers is my answer.
Yeah, and let's also say motorbikes don't count motorcycles for this.
Oh, man, because I was just about to say Breath of the Wild, because they
I was
added
gonna
in
say
a
Trials.
motorcycle.
Yeah, Trials is the answer for me otherwise, but...
Do you know if this is specifically asking about, like, bicycles?
Well, I was asking about bicycles. I think it says, like, any form of it. That's why I said Uniracers.
Sure, he is in the chat so we can get his ruling on this, but Trials is the answer for me for motorbikes, if that's okay.
If it has to be pedal bikes, I'll probably say either Grand Theft Auto or what's that downhill game?
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Descenders, that just came out.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, it's super dope, that thing.
Pokemon?
Pokemon, when you get the bike, changes that game.
That's
So,
actually great.
yeah.
And I really liked in, like, Gen 3 when you get the acro bike, and then for some reason you could, like, jump around a bunch.
Oh shit, what about BMX Triple X?
Yes. The greatest of bike games.
That was BMX Triple X, right? They didn't incorporate the BMX X into the 3 X's for, like, pornography.
Yeah.
So it's actually
there was
4
4
X's on
X's.
the title. That's why it failed, man. They didn't know. 2. What games would you say you could see an improvement or worsened by adding a bike to its formula? So, like, any game where you're walking, when you are given a bike like Pokemon, it's infinitely better to get around.
So, like, let's, like, Gone Home.
Yeah.
Just biking around that house.
That'd be so good. That'd be so good.
Just gotta bike down these stairs, unlock the basement now. Here we go.
I remember the bike being really fun in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas as well. Like, going down that mountain on a BMX bike was great. Because it would eventually just fly away from you because you're flying through the air essentially, and then you would fall and die. Good times.
Tommy of Games has a good point in the chat. Mortal Kombat, isn't there a move called Bicycle Kick?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a game worsened by adding a bike to the formula?
Gone Home.
Oh man, what was that motorcycle game where the motorcycle is like talking to you?
Motorcycles, is that what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
I didn't play enough of that game, but that was a Twisted Pixel where
Yeah.
you played as the bike, and for some reason the like main character was being dragged along behind you the whole time.
Yeah.
I should play more of that game. I think it's on Xbox backwards compatibility, and I think it's in Game Pass, so I think I have it.
Yeah. Okay, what does he have here? On the positive side, I'd like to see Mario Kart that uses bike as an optional vehicle. Do they not have that?
Okay, so he's literally talking about bicycles, because they do have motorcycles.
Yeah, okay. Which you can maneuver in more technical ways than cars. Plus, you could have a special controller to simulate the pedals. Oh my god.
Oh god. Labo has that, doesn't it? Oh no, it has like a foot pedal where you press down.
Yeah.
And you know how Nintendo is regarding peripheral on its consoles. The only problem I see is how to compensate for its lack of speed in comparison to the other vehicles. Also, the name wouldn't make sense since bicycles aren't motorized for the most part. So maybe the game would have to be named Mario Wheels? I don't know. On the negative side, having to ride a bike on a game that employs mechanics from Clop would be a hell of frustration. I think he means Quap.
I think Clop is a game. Clop is a game.
He means Clop? Okay.
Oh, yeah, isn't it a horse one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It's the same idea, though. So, yes. I agree. That would be actual hell doing that, probably. Bonus. What's your experience with bikes IRL? Do you know how to ride one? If so, do you frequently use it?
Okay, before we go on to that, I want to mention Tron, because light cycles are awesome.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
They are always like the coolest thing happening in any kind of Tron property.
Yep.
Also, what is that game? It's like a side-scrolling anime game where you start the game immediately on a bike and you crash into something, and the whole point is to like keep your bounce going as like long as you can.
Ah, shit! I know what you're talking about. I've played that too. What
it's
the
like
hell
an
is
old
that?
Flash game, right?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, there's like bombs that you throw your character into, and then he just flies up into the sky. And
yeah, you want to go as far to the right as you can get. Someone in the chat, I'm sure.
Oh, wasn't there like
knows what it is.
Didn't like PewDiePie make his fortune by playing like Happy Wheels?
Yeah, Happy Wheels.
Yeah, that's another one there. Okay. Experience with bikes. I mean, I rode one up until I could drive a car. So, and then I didn't anymore because I moved to a city where biking is much harder to get around than the town I grew up in.
Yep, I can ride a bike. I really like riding bikes. I don't have a great bike. I just have a single speed because the last time I did have a nice bike, it got stolen, and single speeds are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it as much as I would like to.
Sure.
John, do you know how to ride a bike?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, that's one of my main forms of exercise is pedal bike riding.
Sure.
Cool.
All right, John, do you want to take this next one?
Foxy the Kid writes in and says, every time I swipe through my app list, an error occurs saying Mario Run has stopped working. I haven't opened the app in months. Is my phone haunted by the ghost of a puzzle runner past? Also, are there any apps on your phone you haven't deleted yet but really should, possibly due to spending money or a voice in the back of your head saying you'll use it soon?
Yes.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
First off, you should delete Mario Run if that keeps happening.
I still have Miitomo installed, and that doesn't even work anymore.
Wow.
That's weird.
It's still on my front page, and I keep accidentally clicking it, and then it keeps saying, yeah, this doesn't exist anymore. I don't know why you're clicking this.
Delete it off your phone.
No.
Right now. Everyone take your phones out. We'll do this together. Everyone needs to delete 3 apps. I have a like an arcade folder, which is like whenever games go on sale, I just put them on my phone.
Yeah.
Or like I pick them up and then I play them eventually. But I have some games I don't think I've ever even started. Like Human Resource Machine and I have Device 6. Like all these games that I understand are fantastic. I just don't really play them much. I still have PUBG on my phone for some reason, despite playing it once.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, it's games that I plan to get to eventually.
I haven't used my Facebook app maybe since I've had this new phone.
Oh wow, I use it like all the time.
The only reason it's on here is because you need it for Messenger, which people in my family message me on constantly.
Sure. So. Messenger is also like the worst app ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's so bad.
Yep.
VGC Kenny, does last one from last week or did you do that?
No, that's just part of the
Okay.
Dang, for
In my
whatever-
city, a local pizza place has 2 arcade cabinets. Recently, they switched both of them out. NFL Blitz was swapped out for something called Target Toss Pro,
Okay.
and even stranger, Tetris was swapped out for Cruisin' USA. This is some downgrades, man.
Yeah.
This particular cabinet of Cruisin' does not have a seat. What are some weird arcade swaps you've seen in your lifetime? I'm going to say none. I don't think I've seen an arcade around long enough to like switch out its games.
I've
Yeah,
seen a
like-
lot of them.
The university I used to go to had a bunch of arcade games, and then they slowly started turning them into pool tables instead because apparently they just earned more money.
Sure.
Yep. You know, the old theater near my parents' house, they definitely had upgrades to their arcade, but I never spent enough time in there to know what the differences were. But the Guitar Hero machine they have right now definitely wasn't there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it replaced.
Anytime there's a switch out, it's always weird when it goes from a trackball to a normal thing, and they don't like properly put in a new control board or anything like that. But otherwise, I don't see any weird ones where like this used to be a car game, and now I'm playing Tetris while sitting in a fake car or something. Because that would be great.
That would be pretty funny, though.
Yeah, that would be great for sure. Where are we? Okay. Dragonfire says, what is your favorite and least favorite Mario Party minigame? My least favorite is called Mario Party.
My least favorite is Bowser's Big Blast, the one where you just pick a random plunger and hope to God it doesn't kill you.
Wow.
Okay.
Good game.
I don't think I could think of
No,
like a
no,
specific
it's
one.
not. I realize what it is now.
Okay.
There's one mini game in Mario Party, I want to say it's 4 or 5, where you literally just rotate your stick once and then you randomly just get either money or not.
Amazing.
Cool.
It's awful. I hated it. And it kept coming up during our fucking playthrough on TRG, and I was so pissed.
Again, I'm just going to say anyone that is entirely luck-based sucks.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Although I don't think I can really pick like a good one because they don't like stick in my head.
Mm.
I played the most of 3 as a kid. I think there was one where you were pushing snowballs around and then you had to like knock people off the top of a mountain. That one was okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember any because I don't play those types of games generally.
Sure. John, your favorite Mario Party minigame?
That is a good question. I can't think of one right now.
Yeah.
But I know there's one that definitely exists.
Mm.
All right. Well, you got the next questions.
Oh, Dual Dungeons. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Like, it's where you have you're split into teams, and then you each have to like move platforms around to help the other, but there's also like jumping and attacking and stuff. We do have, or Dungeon Duels, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. So there's one more question here or there's 2 actually on the list, but I also forgot I have some of these.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do you want me to read out? Do you want me to read Rasterman's question, or do you want me to do these?
No, we'll keep going here with these, and then you can read those.
Yeah,
if you
let's
want
finish up
after.
the email ones and then we'll switch to that.
Okay, Rasterman says, Happy World Egg Day. Here are a couple egg-related questions.
Is this a
Who's
real
your
thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I believe it was yesterday. Or
It was, yeah.
I'm sure you got lots of tweets.
We
about
finally
it.
caught up.
I got a fair amount.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite egg-related video game character from any media form? Their relation to eggs is up to your interpretation. Yo, I love Vincent Price's character, Egghead from the 60s Batman.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was in like one of the Lego Batman games.
Yeah,
Probably.
I love it because his whole like reason for existing was egg puns. That's like the only thing. It's so dumb.
I got a good one. The show Garfield and Friends.
Yep.
Oh, Sheldon.
Yeah, whichever one stays in the egg. I guess that makes sense because the other one's already hatched with the legs out.
Yeah.
Very good. Wasn't the other one's name like Booker or something?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. I mean, you should know, I guess.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Paul?
Tangentially egg related. I'm trying to think of something like that's not just like Eggman or whatever.
I mean, you could Yoshi, Billy Hatcher.
like probably Yoshi, because he's basically a free jump. So
Yep.
pretty helpful. Also, he eats stuff, and I can understand that character.
Sure.
Sorry. Oh, there's more. Sorry.
Yeah. Next, part 2. Since someone already asked what's your favorite way of having eggs, what is your least favorite and why, if there's a reason? Fabergé, because you can't eat it.
That doesn't count, but okay.
All right, then what's that, like, 1,000-year egg or whatever the fuck it is? Like the super rotten egg.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, what the hell is that called now?
Is this something people eat?
This is like a
Yeah.
Thailand thing.
I was just about to, maybe we're thinking of the same thing. I've been in like Asian restaurants or ones that have like bubble tea, and they'll have eggs that are kind of black looking in like
That's the
like
one.
a pot.
Yep.
It's in like a soup. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never had that. Aren't they
Yeah.
just hard boiled eggs though in there?
No, they're like rotten eggs or something like that that's just been aged
Yeah,
or something like that. I forget what the deal
There's
was.
a name
Okay.
for it. I just can't remember what the hell it is.
Someone said century egg in the chat. I don't know.
That sounds right. That
I don't know
sounds
what
right.
that is. I have no
That's
idea
a
what that is.
100-year-old egg.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Century egg, preserved egg, is a Chinese preserved food product, delicacy made by preserving duck, chicken, or quail eggs in a mixture of clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls for several weeks to several months, depending on the method of processing. The yolk becomes dark green. Okay, this sounds awful.
Yep.
I guess that's my actual answer, but for eggs that like I typically eat,
Yeah.
I feel like, I like scrambled eggs, but they're kind of just always like the most basic, like lowest form of egg. Because if you're trying to make something else and it fails, you can just make scrambled eggs. But if the scrambled eggs are like wet, like really wet, that's gross.
Yeah, I agree with you. They have to be fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes like you'll get them like when you're going to like a Stampede breakfast.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah,
get
yeah.
like bad, wet, like runny. And it's usually because they're from like the boxed egg thing, like
Sure.
you just like pour the eggs onto the thing. Yeah.
Or we're like sitting under a heat lamp or in like a container of some sort where they got rubbery. Yeah.
Sure.
There's
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
All right. And the last question, do you have any egg-related anecdotes that you would like to share? This question is optional.
Egg related anecdotes? No.
One time I streamed and talked about eggs, and then it became my marketing gimmick.
There you go. I have a shirt about your eggs.
Sure.
Okay, I'll take this last one from Tebe. Have you guys played Persona? I know John has. What is your favorite one?
4.
5.
Catherine.
That
That's the right answer.
is an acceptable answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's time for letters. P.O.
Woo!
Box. Got a bunch from our friend. Putting them in the correct order. Cool. All right. So usually he does these with trivia, so let's see what happens this time around here now. Roller Coaster Tycoon was and still is a great game to sink hours into. I know many of my friends put much more time into it compared to the other AAA games released at the time. But it's shocking how much the opposite does not apply. Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 has surprisingly few man-hours put into it. How many programmers worked on the PC version of the game, Price is Right rules?
Oh.
2.
Probably 3.
Okay.
Oh, god damn it. I'll say 4. I was going to say 3.
Guess what? We're all over. $1! Yes,
Yeah,
only
wow.
one
Okay.
person worked on the code, and his name is Chris Sawyer. He wrote 99% of the code in assembly, which honestly sounds disgusting. He made $30 million.
Good for him.
Way to go.
All right, that was August 13th. August 20th.
Oh man.
Congrats
we're in
on
August.
solving.
There's so many
Congrats
still
on
coming.
solving the riddle. I didn't realize John actually read the back of these, but it meant I had to give no hints to that on the front, which is nice.
What is he talking about?
So last time we did one of these, there was a bunch that were marked off with certain like letters we had to figure out the phrase to.
Oh yeah, no, it was words missing, wasn't it, to make a
Yeah.
sentence?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to give no hints of that on the front, which is nice. I probably should play Undertale at some point. Oh yeah, that was the phrase. I have not actually played Undertale.
Oh, right.
I probably should play Undertale at some point, to be honest, maybe during Christmas. I already have an idea for next year's back meme, so I don't have to dig into that bag of memeage yet.
Okay.
Anyways, here's an easy question. How many levels are there in the original Super Mario Brothers? 32. Unless you're counting Minus Zone.
Yeah, 8 worlds.
Yeah. I'll defer to you because I don't want to do the math in my head.
32, 8 worlds, 4 levels per world. Yay, math. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 3. August 27th. I find it funny how often Nintendo puts sprites into games where you would really expect polygons. For example, the painting Mario was trapped in Luigi's Mansion. He's not a model, but a few thousand slightly different images. Another weird one was Mario Kart 64, especially when games like Diddy Kong Racing used models for the racers. Regardless, you could still tell by the size which racers were light, medium, and heavy. Weight, that is. Out of the 8 racers, which of the 8 racers were heavy?
This is for which Mario Kart?
64.
Okay.
So the roster, for those who don't remember, is Mario and Luigi, Peach and Toad,
Wario and Donkey Kong,
Wario and Donkey Kong,
and Bowser,
and Bowser
and Yoshi.
and Yoshi. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Wario, Donkey Kong, and
Bowser.
Bowser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bowser, Wario, and Donkey Kong were the heavy characters, a bit slower, but they could knock the light characters right around. All right.
Yep.
And the last one, September 3rd. Did you know there are over 800 Pokemon? If you don't, well, I already did a question about that not too long ago. I'm glad I'm that memorable. Well, let's just talk about their types. What is the most and least common Pokemon type? I'll list most of them below in case you don't know.
Most and least common?
Least is probably Dragon.
No, I think it's like Fairy.
Fairy.
Oh,
yeah.
actually, if Fairy's new, you're right. So
Well,
it's
actually, that's not true because they like retroactively switched a bunch of Pokemon to Fairy.
I'm still
I think I'm
going
going to stick with Dragon. I'm still sticking with Dragon.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Fairy.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so you guys say Fairy, I say Dragon. What about most?
Probably fire.
I'm probably going to say water.
I'll go with grass, I guess.
Water is the most common,
Yeah.
Okay.
and ice is the least.
Oh,
Huh.
okay.
All right.
They have
Sure.
133 and 40 Pokemon, respectively. Also, I just realized the listing he put for the names, the types, was listed in a way that it reproduced the Lost comic. So it says, is this Lost? Yes, yes, it is.
Great.
That's it. That's it. That's what I got.
All right.
All right.
Thanks everyone who wrote in. Again, if you want to send in questions for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, @TDP podcast on Twitter, the Facebook group, the Discord channel, and as you can see, John's P.O. box. What's your game of the week?
Fist of the North Star.
The missing J.J. Macfield on the Island of Memories.
And I'm going to go with Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah. I put here in housekeeping. I saw that there were a few people saying, like, to those, like, what are your favorite podcasts or whatever. We got a shout out from a few people on Twitter and just wanted to say thanks. That's cool. That's always great to see that people actually listen.
I'm trying to see if there's anything Patreon I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, you're going to have to do the submission requests or whatever.
Yes, I guess I should have done that yesterday, so I'll do that shortly. All right, we'll be back next week. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Bye, everybody.